Witnessing tuition.
Oh my goodness. Seriously, I have to just do it. It's like I can tell myself I don't have to think about things that don't matter.
I was designed to do those things. How the hell does this guy know this about me?
It's impossible to not see.
When Dan read for my sister, she was like, he's psychic. She's like, how did you know that?
Yes.
She's like, it's human design, guys. Like, it's just a testimony of how legit it is.
Seriously, Danny was like FBI or CIA. He's like, how the hell does this guy know this about me?
Having my chart read, there were just thing after thing after thing that I was just like, wow, that's me.
This man is reading me and I've never met him before.
I was in the midst of one of the biggest emotional waves I've ever been in my life, and he saved my life.
It seems like everybody has the same reaction. It's that aha moment, and they want to find out more. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Human Design Advantage podcast. My name is Jen, and decoding the matrix for us today, or always, is Dan.
How you doing, Jen? It's good to be here. We got a nice topic tonight.
We do have a nice topic tonight. Before we dive into that, to answer your question, I'm doing pretty good this evening. Thank you for asking.
That's good to hear.
For those of you who are new to the show, please make sure you hit that notification button, like and subscribe to the show. Don't forget to check us out. Go to the tinyurl.com HDA links. We can book a session with Dan. You can check out our website. We also have gear. I am sporting my Conspiracy to Awaken shirt. We have in our stores. Make sure you get your gear. And yeah, we've got some other things going on over there. So make sure you do that.
So mine should be in soon, huh?
Yours should be. I was going to ask you if you've gotten it because mine just came in.
Quincy didn't give it to me, or neither did Jackie. So I assume it didn't come in yet.
Well, I still have one more thing coming. So I know it takes a little bit of time, but I know I got the shipping alert. So you should have your shirt, the other shirt that I made for you too.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer.
Which would have been perfect for tonight's show. I was hoping
I
was hoping that you were going to wear it. But
I can run and check the door if you want, but let's just get on with the show. We've got
go ahead.
Quite serious stuff to actually talk about. I mean, we like to make light of things, but I guess none of this is technically funny in certain ways. So tonight, let me go full screen on my thing. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Hiliary, and you can't talk about Hiliary without having Bill's charts. I sent you both.
Yes.
And so we can
pop them up?
call them Billary. Well, before we pop them up, does anyone have any comments, what they think about Hiliary or any of that? Or do you have any thoughts up front?
Well, we have no comments at the moment. And my thoughts is that I've never really liked her. She's always giving me just a weird vibe. Something inside of me has never resonated with her. Even I can't remember what year she tried to run for president. She tried to run for presidency twice. Okay, the first time I remember a friend of mine at the time was telling me that I needed to go vote for her just because she was a woman.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. No, that's not how we vote.
Right. So some people vote, but not me. Not you. Yeah.
Not me. No, not me. I always knew politics.
Well, now we can know that we're not going to vote for her because she's a flipping monster. So, so that's a good reason.
Well, as soon as I awakened to the truth, that is some of the things that I found out about her. So I'm really
I hope she runs. I was telling you this earlier. I hope she runs. I hope she doesn't. Well, because she's a guaranteed loss for the other side is what I'm thinking. Because people dislike her more and more and more. I don't know. We shall see. After tonight,
I don't want any of these assholes. I don't think any
Yeah.
of them should run, Dan.
Oh.
I'm not even. As far as here's my thoughts on that.
No, you're right.
You have a population of zombies. You have a population of zombies who are being squeezed right now and suffering and not awake.
Yep.
Who are going to look at her like a savior. And after the whole shit show with the person we have in office right now, and how, I mean, no one thought he would win, and he turned out to be the most popular vote, which we bullshit. So, we know I don't even want to risk having this psychotic bitch even close to the polls.
No, we really don't. We really don't. Pop up her chart. So, see underneath the smiling face that is Hillary that she tries to put forth is a very angry little demon. So, we're going to be speaking very much to who Hillary is not. All of these leaders have come to the conclusion they are acting out very much who they are not. And so we are receiving the repercussion of that. And this one is just no different. So Hillary Rodham Clinton, she's a manifesting generator. So she always likes to go fast. Her not self theme is frustration. She's constantly frustrated. She is a single definition. So she extra thinks she's supposed to be fast. And then she's got this channel of charisma. It goes from 34 up to 20. It's called the channel of charisma because sacral all the way, and it bends up and goes to the throat. This is the this is the only channel that is a pure manifesting generator channel. If a person has just that channel, they are what is called a pure manifesting generator. They have a Go ahead.
Can you? There's a difference between a pure manifesting generator and a manifesting generator.
Well, very not a practical one.
Okay.
I'm mincing words textbook wise because there technically is a slight difference, but there really isn't a practical difference. All manifesting generators want to move fast. It's just when you have this channel of charisma, it takes the power from the sacral. The gate 34 is the power of the great. And I'm going to open my book in a minute. And the power of the great is the power to move mountains. Literally, it's endless, unexhaustible well of power to physically move things along and do stuff or say stuff. And when it's connected directly to the throat with nothing in between, there's no distance between the responsive power and the shit that comes out of her face hole. So, yes. So, this is why she keeps herself hidden away in part. She doesn't have a lot of gaffes out there. You know, she doesn't have a lot of missteps out on the public stage as it relates to absolute blunders like our current president.
What persona are we talking about?
I'm talking about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton doesn't have that many blunders, televised absolute blunders like our current president.
I just made that comment because I know that she has doubles just like our current president.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think our current president is Joe Biden. I mean, it doesn't even look like him anymore. If you go back to old pictures, you look at him, it's like, well, I mean,
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one.
No, they don't even look like the same guy.
No, they don't.
If you look at a super old picture of Joe Biden, you'll see he's got a detached earlobe, as I recall, and the current ones, they're attached or vice versa. I don't know. Anyways, go look at that for yourself. What's it matter? They're all monsters. They're all freaking monsters. And I love this picture, Jen, because her beady little eyes are coming out through the little red arrow, and it suits her. So
Sorry, I couldn't. I tried to.
Sorry, this is artistic awesomeness. I thought you did that on purpose.
Thank you. I like to have the whiteness right on top, but my graphic design program wouldn't allow me to make it all pretty. So
it's all good. So I wonder what she would look like in a bloodletting suck line, like she puts the kids and all. So when you're a manifesting generator and you have this channel of charisma, I thought you'd appreciate that, Jen.
Yeah, you know I would.
I love making you smile, Jennifer. It's part of my highlight of my day.
Thank you, Dan.
So raw power straight to the throat, nothing in between, nothing stops. What is it? It's hard for her to stop. What is it that's coming out? So for that, she wisely hides herself away mostly because she's so pissed. She can't go out pissed. This is a design of the channel of charisma. It's called that because when you act out your power right now, it seems charismatic. Everyone thinks it's charismatic when the person is immediately a man or a woman of action. They see and they respond and they step into action. That seems charismatic. They say, oh, that's a real can-do person. You know, let's have that person on our team. And so this is sitting there underneath the surface, but look, the unconscious red line coming off of her throat center, the gate of right now, the genetic disposition we have to display our power right now, our awareness of who we are in the now. That's what gate 20 gives us. And it's a design of survival. Since it's unconscious, she's not even aware that she's about to say the thing. She knows, she feels the frustration from not saying the thing. And the thing about Hiliary is she's so certain about the things she thinks she wants that she thinks that's her truth coming out. She actually has to bury her truth when she speaks in the now to pour out the hate and the lies, just to bury it.
So basically what is coming out is what she thinks is the truth, but it's really not the truth because it's not her truth.
Nope.
So she's lying.
Yep.
Is that truth coming from somewhere else?
It's not a truth.
It's not a truth at all.
It's not a truth. Look at her head center. Totally open head center. Incredible pressure to think about anything else but what matters. Incredible pressure to think about just about anything else other than what really matters. So she thinks
about things that don't matter.
Yeah, so she's thinking about all
Constantly.
the things that actually don't even matter to her. She's pretending that they're true. And then she's got this open ego which says, I'm going to prove that what doesn't matter is true. The thing is, she thinks it matters to her. I've got to kill all those people in Benghazi. We got to wipe out the president of Libya, Omar Gaddafi, because he won't join the central bank and become a central banker like everybody else and rob all his people. We've got to murder him. We got to let bombs fly all over Syria and Libya and everywhere else. Oh, we got to subvert the election. We have to, subvert the border. We have to subvert the truth. This is Hiliary. Might as well call her Killary. And she got this way literally by a lifetime of being conditioned away from her nature. Look at her spleen center. It's open on the left, and it's got 3 gates coming off of it. And it's got 2 gates pointing at it. 3 gates pointing at it. So, I mean, this spleen is well observed in her body graph. Yeah, to the left, there it is. And there's 3 gates coming off of it, but there's also 3 gates pointing at it. Gate 27 points at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see. So
that matters.
That's 53. Okay.
Yeah, that matters. Gate 27 is pointing at it. This is a gate of caring. And without gate 50, she's not sure what to care for. So she invents it, or people install in her what she should care for. Bill installed in her what she should care about. And the cauldron of values that would go into establishing the right nurture to care about. This is the gate of nurture. It's a sacral energy, sustained energy to protect and preserve our youth. As far as I can tell, she's perfectly happy watching our youth fall apart. So her quest for the right
We know
value.
how she feels about the youth.
Yeah, right. Her quest for the right values is an ongoing quest for her, and she doesn't know what they are. And to her, that's a problem. So she has to prove that she has the right values by saying a bunch of stuff all the time. She only ever comes out when she thinks it's practical enough for her to literally prove someone wrong, prove how good she is, make a point that's going to score her the next possibility at a run at the presidency. That's the only thing this woman cares about right now. Her presidency and her presidency before she dies, again, unless she's drinking all that adrenochrome and living longer. What were you going to say, Jen?
Savannah had a comment, but I was going to say, let me know. You pause for let me know when you're ready.
Well, what's this time? What is Savannah's comment?
you were talking about the throat center, and she was saying the bully channel, right?
It is very much. Low expression can come across as a bully. Good, we'll go there. So gate 34 points at that open spleen. So the open spleen is about, I want to feel good. Now she can't feel good. She's got an open spleen. Something inside of her, not self-mind, is always saying, too many things are coming in. I'm thinking about so many things. I can't prove I feel good. I don't know how it is. I'm going to end up feeling good. So she just wants to be spontaneous. But that spontaneousness is not for her. She's got an emotional definition. And that emotional definition is on the right-hand side, the channel of openness. It's a design of a social being. It's a design of being social or antisocial. And this is a manifesting channel. It can manifest out all kinds of stuff. It can manifest out. So gate 22 is the grace to listen. Everybody has within them the propensity to be receptive to or actually have the grace to listen. You have the grace to listen, Jen. I notice you listen all the time. It's not everyone does. So she appears to be listening, but these are channels of deafness. It's almost all individual definition in her, except for one collective channel. She's got the channel from the ajna to the throat, the channel of structuring, deaf to the other. It's absolutely deaf. She's not listening. She only cares about her own insights. She's fully self-absorbed. The channel.
So she'll listen when someone's talking about her.
Yep. And she'll listen only if it fits within a very narrow window of what she thinks she wants.
So she would listen to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, only to determine to have someone knock us off, maybe. But
Dan.
Don't you tell them about me. I'll tell them about you, Hiliary. So this channel of this manifesting channel that it goes from 22 to 12 has all this individual melancholy in it. All of these individual channels have all this individual melancholy in it. So half the time, Hiliary is emotional and sad. She's not going to come show that to the world. In fact, half the time, she basically has to fake it. Fake that she's a social being, because if you have this channel, you're not always a social being. You're a social being for yourself first. If you're in the mood, it's in the individual circuit. So it's not collective socialness. Technically, all collective channels are social because they're about sharing. But this one is about empowerment. So only when she can empower her wicked and nefarious ends, of which she's always after. This woman is always after wicked shit. She doesn't mind killing it. She's a design of somebody who gets super pissed in the moment. They have a gate 45 off their throat. They think they're entitled. They have a gate 12. It says, I'm not talking if I don't feel like it. She has a gate 23. I always have the explanation. Gate 62. I always have all the details. Listen to me. She got a gate 31, says, I lead. I know I'm the leader. And that gate 31 off of her throat goes down to gate 7. That's a channel of the alpha. This bitch thinks she's an alpha. She thinks she is entitled to leadership. Gate 45 says, I'm entitled to lead. And the channel of the alpha 31-7 says, I'm a collective leader, but only if I'm elected. But when you put these two things together and are not self-being, it's, hi, I'm entitled to lead the collective. This crazy bitch thinks she's entitled to lead the United States collective.
That's how she acted through the whole, campaign. Even when you go back to the videos between her and Trump, or when Trump called, what you're describing, you can see her get mad.
Oh, yeah.
You can see her not know what to say. She wants to say something, but she's having to, practice self-control, which then manifests.
Which isn't easy it's not easy when the gates going to your throat from underneath are unconscious. She always had something to say. She had to shut herself up. She had to literally shut herself up. Remember, Donald Trump wouldn't shut up, and during those debates, he just kept interrupting Joe Biden during the last round of debates. He couldn't help it. He had stuff to say. He was a manifesting generator, much like this. And so he was acting out who he was. Hilary's acting out very much who she's not. She's not shy, calm, and reserved. Actually, she is relatively shy. she's a 1-3 profile. So that 1 is really the chameleon that blends in and doesn't really want to take any chances until they have a solid foundation. So she's not going to do anything till she has a solid foundation, is basically where she is. And then if she doesn't like what she sees, that third line is an anarchist. It tears stuff down. So all she wants to do is basically study what we currently have now, which she's pretty well versed in, and figure out how to tear it down for her own purposes. The 1-3 profile, along with all of this individual definition, is just one self-absorbed, super duper self-absorbed person. And over to Savannah's point, the thing that pours the most power into her is that gate 34. And if you look at gate 34, go to the right-hand side. It's in, it's in not Saturn, Jupiter. Yep.
Okay, yes.
It's in Jupiter. So that sets the law. For her, it's the law. The law is Jupiter for her. So if she breaks the law, she gets in trouble. But her law is 34-1. It's about the bully. 34-1 is the bully, the indiscriminate use of power to achieve one's ends. The indiscriminate use of power. Now, being a bully, there's nothing wrong with having 34-1 doesn't make you a bully. You're a holistic being. If you have a 34-1 in your body graph, just understand you've got an energy that's willing to bully things over in order to get a thing done. That's super duper helpful. Let's say we need to everyone put their shoulder to the wheel to make the car get out of the ditch. I want a bully to help bully that car out of the ditch. So it's not a bad thing, but it can come out evil and wicked with all this unfettered power and access to power and weaponry that she has. All the access to money and influence she has. She is very influential. She's got a channel of influentialness. That's what the alpha is. They're incredibly influential. In fact, gate 31 is the gate of influence. I speak out my influence because I know I lead. That's what 31 says. Now, we're supposed to have people with that gate in their body graph. We're supposed to have that in the world. I know I lead. Sometimes a bunch of stuff's going on, and who's going to lead? The person who says, I know I lead. Well, okay, let's see if they're any good at leading. Maybe they lead us out of the trouble or whatever. Jennifer, we lead mundane things all the time. We need leadership. That's great. What we don't need is dictatorship. And when I look at that gate, yes, when I look at that,
people acting out of their not self theme.
Right. And that's all. Now, that's all that can happen to a person at the moment that they never learn and or follow their own strategy and authority. At the time that they have never seen it and they've lived a whole life, they are living their not self themes. They are living a combination of the two is really what it is. And in that combination, it all appears to be something broken. Think of a cake. A cake is a combination of ingredients. Oh, I just put another teaspoon of salt in it. Not very much as it relates to the mass of the cake, but a hell of a lot as it relates to that cake being any good or not.
Yes, exactly. Good
So,
way of putting that.
Say it again.
Good way of putting that. We do have comments, just to let you know. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, well, I wanted to finish addressing Savannah's 34, the bully, and how that feels entitled to be the bully. Let's find her gate 45. See how that on the left-hand side, gate 45, line 2?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's about building a consensus before you lay down the law. It wants to build a consensus before it takes rulership. Gate 45 is the tribal voice that rules. I am the king. I am the queen. Hillary thinks she's the fucking queen of America. She actually, and it's unconscious in her, so she has no way to shut it off. She can't even see it coming until it shows up. She thinks that's real.
Oh, I bet you she had a meltdown when Trump won.
She did. She went off grid for near 4 years. She came back on the scene like 3 years later or something like that, 2 years later. She wrote a book or something. You know, in that time where she was down super low on her wave and in all of her melancholy was about as close, probably as close to her being herself as she got.
That's right. 'Cause she's emotional.
Yep. So, you know, hey, she's just a person. You know, I have great empathy for all of these people on one side because they're human flesh and blood. And on the other side, they're a waste of human flesh and blood. She's a useless eater. She's never done anything. Hey, Hillary, come help us plant the field. Hey, Hillary, come help me fix my car. Hey, Hillary, come work a real job so we can put food on the table. Hey, Hillary, do something useful so that everyone else can have something. You can't? Oh, that makes you a useless eater, Hillary. You and Klaus and Bill and all them other bastards up there. They literally are wasting our capital. They're wasting everything that we have. They don't work for it. They don't do stuff. They don't put their shoulder to the wheel. They have their minions do it. Mm-hmm. They bequeath it. So she thinks she's the queen of America. America's little darling. Yeah, not quite. So that open spleen hangs on to things that aren't good for it. She hangs on to the anger that comes out of these two manifesting channels when the frustration and resistance gets so great that she can't have what she thinks she needs to prove about herself, none of which matters. Boom, she explodes with anger. If we could interview Bill, we would find out how seething pissed this woman gets from time to time. I don't want to be on the other side of that. I don't want my president to be on that side of things, somebody who absolutely doesn't know. I watched Donald get seething mad, but he shared it. Donald shared his anger. What a great play. We're allowed to get mad. Fucking share that shit so you can see the reflection of what's happening. When Donald shares his anger, all the reflectors in the country, whether they know it or not, can reflect back the health of that anger. So it wouldn't matter if he received it directly from a reflector in his cabinet or something, which I doubt. He was getting it through the consciousness field. He would receive it on a tweet. Someone was a reflector and said something to somebody who said something else. However it got to him, it got back to him. This one, she doesn't show it. She tries to pretend she's the pinnacle of calm, cool, and collected. She's anything but. She's an anarchist. That third line of hers is an anarchist. Her cross is the cross of the unexpected. Yes. What if she expects to run again? Then we can expect the unexpected. There'll be some upheaval and something terribly unexpected. The thing about them is they can find themselves unexpectedly in positions of leadership, and that's what she's chasing down. She's chasing down right now her own incarnation cross in a vehicle that is perfect, in a personality that's making the vehicle act out its not self. Because she thinks she needs to think about all the things she needs to prove and hold on to her hatred of Donald and everything else that isn't her while she is under pressure to move. She's always under pressure to move and start something new and chase down fantasy. She's got a hunger for it. That's what gate 41 at the bottom is, and gate 53 wants to start things. She's got a hunger to start each new thing, and it's very sexual. It's very sexual, this hunger. And it's intermittent. It's in an open center. So if you go to Bill's body graph, remember these open centers, guys.
Here.
Bill fills in two of them. Yep. Bill fills in
Top two.
Yep. And
Currrupt and Ajna.
She fills in two for Bill, and Bill fills in two for her.
Oh shit, that's right.
Actually three, because she has that Ajna center. But together, they have no head and no ego defined. Mm-hmm. So together, all the conditioning over all, she tries to be Bill, basically, because Bill gives her a defined spleen and says, hey, I got what's good for you, baby. And Bill's got a defined root center. He's not under any pressure. He's steady with the pressure. He puts her under pressure. No, I got what's good for you, but you seem frustrated and under pressure. Maybe I'll stick my little willy in you. She fell for that, because as soon as his defined root center showed up, suddenly, go back to her real quick. Her undefined root center has a gate 41. See that there? Mm-hmm. It's unconscious. So sexual fantasy, burning desire, hunger pours out of her intermittently until she gets with Bill. Go back to Bill. Bill's got the gate on the other side. Bill's got gate 30. This is the recognition of a feeling. And that feeling is highly experiential. It's a human experiential way, 90% of which is sexual. I mean, that's the human experience. Everyone's always wanting to get it on. Everyone speaks in terms of sexy and attractive and all this and all that. We are a sexualized species, until we reach a certain age, I would guess. But overall, that's what happens, especially during youth. That's when they got together.
I'm wondering how it is without all the programming.
Oh, without all the programming, these two would actually be they might even be happy together once they can get over their difficulty. The difficulty is Bill holds on to the feel good and puts her under pressure, and Bill holds the keys to the direction that they went because he's got gates 14 and 2 in his body graph from the sacral up to the G center. This is the power column. This is the Tantra. Bill invented the quickie. That's what this channel is. It wants it quick. And Hiliary fell for that. Bill was always going to be the guide of the family. He was always going to be the first to seek influence, and she was always going to be bitter about that and frustrated. And fuck you, Bill. You think you're so good. Look at Bill. He's a 2-4. He's a natural. He was always broadcasting out, hey, if you get me to say yes to something, I'm going to go kill it, meaning I'll do real good. And he would just say that, and he'd put a smile on because he's on the cross of contagion. Everything Bill did was contagious. People thought they were enthralled by him. Oh, Billy, tell us how it is. And Bill's got this open throat. Look at that open throat. There's 9 activations off of that thing. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 activations off of his throat center. And a couple and one pointing at it. So that's a busy throat center to be open. If you got an open throat center, you don't know what to say. You're not sure when to attract attention. You think that you need to attract more attention. And so what does little Miss Hiliary do? Go back to her chart. She takes all that manifesting power and she thinks she is Bill. And she's pissed when she can't attract the attention. Or when she attracts bad attention or not enough attention to get elected. Her anger must have been through the roof. I can see her smashing things. Hiliary, if you smashed something when you were really pissed after you lost, in that moment of smashing was another time where you were being yourself. You were letting out your anger. And that resistance was coming out through physical action. That's correct. Just stop letting out your anger through giving everyone bombs and guns to kill everything while you pretend you're nice, because you're not. You're
or the kids. Don't even get me started on the kids.
Yep. Well, she's probably a kid eater too. So
jeez, never mind.
Yep. They all torture this stuff. They torture us all. Now they don't care. Look at that face. That's the face of pure evil. Just like all the rest of them, by the way. They're all pure evil. They all need to be basically banished from this planet one way, shape, or form. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but I know it's through us recognizing what they are and what they are not. Here's what Hiliary is not. She's not actually certain of the too many things that comes in. And she can't prove shit. Every time she says, I promise, she's got a totally open ego. She doesn't even know what her value is. I'm sorry. Give me a president with a defined ego or a president who's awake with an open ego. I'll take that any day. She is not safe. She thinks she can feel safe by giving people arms, giving people guns, giving people this, giving people that. Her not self will constantly give away our wealth, our value, our everything, because she's got an open spleen that's concerned with its own worthiness, that's concerned that it's not fought for the right struggle, that's concerned it needs to correct and challenge everything else but her own self, and that feels inadequate. That's what Gate 48 does. You got that sitting there suddenly being every time she was around Bill, Bill made her feel inadequate. Go back to Bill's chart. He colors that spleen in, and suddenly she feels inadequate. She feels inadequate. She doesn't know what to do. And look at Bill. He's got gate 26. One gate he's got off of the ego center. That's the gate of the trickster. When it hangs there by itself, Bill will say anything. Hey, Bill, we'll give you a pile of money and we'll wind you up like a little talk doll. Tell people what we want to hear you say. And so he did that. He was tricky. Remember, they called him Teflon Bill. That's what it was.
Yes, Savannah mentioned something about the gate 26 or the channel is the salesman channel.
Comments. Yeah, let's pull up the comments.
Hold on.
Let's see what people are saying.
I'll have to go back and see where the last one was.
Bill's gate 30 would cling to a feeling, and her gate 41 would give it fuel. All of the arrows point left, so very strategic and active mind. Yeah, so all of her arrows are pointing left. That means this woman only knows how to look at things strategically. She's got no open receptive cognition. She's got a 1-3 profile, so she's already not open and receptive in her way. She's got almost all individual definition. She's not open and she is not receptive. And you add it to the cognition of these 4 arrows pointing to the left. Again, there's nothing wrong with 4 arrows pointing to the left. When I want something done to get done strategically and I need help on that, I want to talk to a person who's got this variable or left-facing arrows. They always get stuff done strategically. They know how to narrow their periphery. They know how to take all that peripheral stuff and narrow it on one thing. So there is one aspect when all 4 arrows point to the left, all of them, this person must identify with what they do for work or they'll never feel full. And for her, with that gate 28 coming off of her open spleen, she's intermittently always aware that she's not sure if her purpose is being fulfilled. She's not sure if she's going to die having fulfilled her purpose. It has everything to do with spirit, but it's on the splenic side. So it's more about my purpose here on this plane. Am I doing anything any good? But she's such a selfish freaking bitch bag that it's, am I doing anything for purpose for myself only? She's got integration, 3420. That's self-empowerment. I'm busy. I'm busy now. That's what that says. She's got individual 2212. That's about empowerment. She's got the channel of structuring. So she always knows. She always puts forth the energy that she knows. People project upon Hiliary. Oh, Hiliary might know. She's got the channel of structuring. Maybe she knows. But every time she tries to say she knows, and it's not exactly what people are willing or ready to hear, they don't listen. So she gets bitter and then angry. Keep something in mind, guys. There's only 9 channels. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 channels, technically 11 channels that are generated channels. Generating, meaning they are here. They will generate their response. And there's only 3 pure manifesting channels that can do. All the rest of the channels are projected channels. Just like the name projector says, that energy has to be invited. Her 4323, which has a lot of insights. She had an insight. I better let Omar Gaddafi die because he won't come into the central bank. She had a lot of insights on how to make that happen and not get caught. So she was good at that. She's good at killing people. She's efficient. This is the channel of efficiency. Let's efficiently make all the serfs on the planet. First of all, let's let half of them die off efficiently, and then let's efficiently control all the rest of them. That's her. And she does so as the authoritarian. 28-1 and 7-1. The first line of this profile. She's the authority on the purpose we all need to follow, and she's the one who'll care for that purpose. But her purpose is in an open center. She doesn't know what her purpose is until she's conditioned by somebody else. We come back to Bill. And Bill brings along this super quickie sexualized generator. If you're a generator with a 29 and that tantric channel 14-2, if you're a generator with all of this energy going through you this way, well, you're good at having sex at that age. I mean, he's good at being naturally attractive. It's just something that he would have done. He would have attracted her, and she would have had, the greatest time with Bill in the beginning. Lots of getting it on. And Bill would have been insatiable with her because she would have lit him up with that emotional solar plex center. But then he turned around and conditioned her and said, you got no sunshine without me. And where is she? She's always in the shadow of Bill Clinton. And she fights so hard to be the authority that gets out from under the shadow of Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton is a little natural, and the natural never knows what the hell, why they even did what they did. They don't. And she's so pissed at Bill because Bill could just walk into a room and suddenly he's contagious. Everyone loves him. And she's like, what did he do? How come he's so special? She lives a life of scorn. She brings that to the office and goes and murders people. Fuck her. She sucks. What kind of questions we got?
Savannah, she said something about the leadership channel where they want to lead others. So she was expressing herself correctly then.
Oh, yes. She is supposed to be there, and she's expressing herself correctly as she tries to get into the world to become elected. Where she doesn't express herself correctly is where she lies all over the place to make sure anybody else is bad and she's the only good one. That's not good. Nothing could be farther from the truth. And she knows it. She knows it.
And Gate 45 leadership control channel is designed in her Mars, where she can be immature.
It very much so. That and both Bill and her have it, by the way. And that was Bill's in Bill's Mars.
Yes.
But hers is in Mars. So Mars is about she pretends she's building a consensus. Okay, she's pretending that she's building a consensus. I'm going to read the line to you and make sure I've got this here, just so I can read it here. Unrealistic demands and an offensive nature of an egocentric mediocrity. She knows this. This is who she's not, and she's living it out. She's determined to force through her mediocrity as something that's great. It's a flim-flam. It's the determination to be treated as a success before it's actually true. If she was living out her real nature, it would just be the consensus that says gathering together for a higher purpose. What is it? The material direction of the tribe through the expression of the techniques and the teachings that benefit everyone, that benefit others. The only others she cares about are the people in her very small trillionaire club, and she does not care about you or I. She doesn't know how to freaking care. She lost that a long time ago in the soup of trying to prove she's worthy, holding on to all these ideas that aren't good for her, all of which these ideas aren't even her, under pressure to be in motion to get rid of the pressure. She's always in a hurry. So she's in a hurry to do all this stuff. In a manifesting generator. So she's extra in a hurry. Mm-hmm. Unconscious definition straight to the throat. Not only extra in a hurry, I wouldn't trust this girl to know what the hell is true in the moment. She's going to spit out everything that she's not. I trust Donald to know what's true in the moment. He spit out essentially what was true. I bet you if I watch Donald closely, I'll find spots where he's a lying-ass bullshitter. I bet you'll find it. I'm sure it's there. I just haven't looked for it, to be totally honest. I know it's there. It's there. It's just that all too often.
I think on some level, most people would have that because they're acting out. They're not self-themed.
Yep. And they can't help it is the thing. But mostly Donald had the wherewithal to just spit it out in the now. So he spit out the truth. I remember one time everyone was like, well, the United States. And he's like, United States, you think we're such nice people? You think we only do good things in the world? You know, you don't think we kill people? He said this on an interview. That's like, no, presidents don't say that. They use euphemisms. Well, we have to deal delicately with the situation and make sure we get it under control, AKA go kill everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, get it under control and use some caution. Yeah, we'll use some caution. We'll have a lot more guns than they do, and we'll mow them over like a lawnmower. That's cautious. Yeah. So fuck you, except for Donald. And probably fuck you too a little bit, Donald. I don't know. I'll go find out, but mostly not so far.
I don't trust any of them.
I don't either, except for those jabs, Donald. Just like, you know, you're a dick for pressing forward with those jabs and not telling everybody that you recognize they've been hurt by them. So are there any other questions here?
Savannah says her 1-3 profile and his 2-4 profile would have a hard time getting along. They don't match.
Well, they have one piece of harmony. So his 2-4, that fourth line harmonizes his fourth line. So his 8, his contribution, and his 14, his contribution of power to a direction. So the power that pushes a direction towards a contribution is externalized. That's fourth line. That would have harmonized with her first line personality. So you go back to her, and on her personality side is the 28-1 and the 27-1. And the 28-1 is the struggle for a purpose, and the 27-1 is the nurturer or not. The person who nurtures the values that will then keep the continuity of the tribe alive. So 28 would be, so all of his talking to make a contribution, she would have latched onto, her first line would resonate with that and want to help build a foundation for that. They'd want to help build the foundation. And her foundation would be preparations. She was always helping Bill get prepared. Always. She was Bill.
I wonder if she was helping him get prepared for Monica.
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, by making him frustrated when she wouldn't put out, for sure. When she wouldn't give, never mind, when he got sick of her. Bill was fickle. Bill had the channel of judgment. Any one day he could decide, I'm sick of you, I want something new. That's Bill.
Well,
Which he did. He did plenty of
Yeah.
that. He was an awful husband.
he
He's a fucking
visited the
loser.
island several times.
He went to Waco Island there. What was it called? Epstein Island?
Yep, he went to Epstein Island. I have seen.
Did you hear the latest news about that?
No, I have not.
The latest news was now suddenly, even under threat of subpoena and judge ordering it to be displayed, somehow they lost the manifest and the list of that prostitute lady's little black book of all the clientele.
Oh,
Yeah. It's missing. Yeah, right. We know it's
they
not
don't
missing.
want people to know. That's why they're all distracted with.
Right. So the only safe thing to do is to basically assume if you're in that billionaire class or you serve them, i.e. 90% of our politicians, most of them, the safe thing to do is just to assume they're all freaking crazy like that. They all do that.
Oh, I do. I don't assume.
I assume they all do. I assume Bernie did. I don't assume Bernie's good anymore. Nope.
I don't feel, this is my honest opinion, I don't feel that anybody that is in a political or over us is not corrupt in one way, shape, or form. You don't make it there unless you've gotten up the corruption ladder. It's a giant club. We're not in it.
Right.
I don't even trust the governors or mayors in my own town.
No. And the only way to really beat that back is to fake it. Therefore, you have to be awful at first and then walk in. And once you got it, announce that you're no longer it and beg forgiveness for your sins on the way up. Knowingly, that would be a way to infiltrate. You just have to go in and be them. And then as soon as you're elected, fuck you. Flip them off. I'm elected, and hopefully you can get it done in 6 years if you're a senator or a congressman, whatever it is you're trying to get done.
I mean, you touched on it too, like even with the Trump and when they started getting the vaccine and stuff like that, like it went on my profile, like my flag of things to just monitor, because there's things coming out in the news about them doing the saline. Why would you do that? I mean, our mission here at Human Design Advantage is to help humanity. None of these fuckers are helping humanity.
Nope. If they're helping humanity, they would stop shipping weapons of war to everyone else. We're a weapons manufacturer, this country is.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there's all the money and all the power is in all of that stuff. And it's up to us, the people, to say no and continue to vote no with our dollars and vote no with our ways and our actions, and make sure we're voting no at the polls, and always trying to find good sheriffs. Always try to look up your own sheriff, make sure they're a good one, or vote them out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, or vote them out. That's it.
I think you said a good key point, and I'd like to say money. We vote them out with our money.
Yep.
I don't even feel comfortable with the voting anymore. That's why when you were saying, I hope she runs again, bull fucking shit. We don't even have control over that. We don't have control over our money. We don't have control over any of that.
Yep.
That's the illusion.
Yep. It is the illusion. So
we're here to awaken to the conspiracy.
Yep. Now, witness this thing about her personality, Sun Earth. I'm going to show you a little trick. We all have a personality, Sun Earth, and sometimes it's in an open center. That means your sun, which is the driving force driving into you, or the earth, which is where you get grounded, what raises up. So consider Earth as the flower that grows, and the sun as the power that drives into the earth to grow up the flower or the plant or the tree or the person. So wherever you have a sun or an earth in an open center, your driving force and or your grounding is not there. So look at her gate 28, line 1. It's in the spleen. Her fight for her purpose is locked away in a dark room until somebody opens it up for her. Somebody has to come into her life or be in her aura in order to open up her driving force. So along comes Bill, and Bill lets her sun shine out.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ew is right. It's ugly. Okay.
Oh, I just had a vision on that.
Which was what?
That's not always very good.
No. Listen, it's appropriate for her to be conditioned by the right person that lets her sunshine out.
Yeah,
She's
I know,
not missing anything, except she's missing everything because she's a not self-freaking gutter-dwelling pig. But what were you gonna say?
I can't say on here.
Okay. So that was her. Go back to her chart. So that was her son. So she grows up her whole life with her mom and then her dad and her brothers and sisters, her family members, and then the teachers and friends at school. Everyone was always letting her son out. She was always somebody different, no matter where she was. And she thought there was something wrong with her because of all of that. How can I be all of these people? No one was there to tell her. So she grew up with all of this basically type of, thinking things that she's not. Now, go ahead.
I had a thought. There was the girl that she always hung around with. Her name is escaping me. Hiliary did, and
we can find her. That girl let her son out. I'll bet you dollars to donate.
That's what yeah.
So the right conditioning, Bill could have very well been the right conditioning for her. Look, we're all in a conditioning field. We all get conditioned. It's not, we don't escape the conditioning. We are ourselves within it. Herself within it would be collecting responses over time and going through an emotional wave through hope and pain to find out what she's clear on. One thing's clear. She stayed with Bill for strictly money and power reasons. She's not in love with him. They may have determined and found a way to find love between the two of them individually, personally, on their own time as a possibility. But I would guess that it's very mediocre, if at all. It's not like my mom and dad, you know what I mean? I'm sure they've had their share of issues, but neither one of them could imagine a life without the other. That's what they've always said. I believe them. Savannah. Yeah, yeah, it's a huge compromise. Hard to, well, technically they all can be. Yeah, I want to go over what the earth signifies, what grounds us, what makes us safe. That's part of it. It's really what makes us. It's what we're acting out in the world. And look, she's got 27 fixed to the detriment. 27.1. Now 27.1. So someone else allows her sun to shine on her grounding so she can become what she is. But her grounding is in a defined center. This is the trick. When you see one in a defined center and one not, you know there's a dilemma with this person. She doesn't know who she is on one side and she knows it. And on the other side, she rolls up her sleeve and says, oh, but shoot, I know this about me. So gate 27.
Huma. That was the girl. Huma, I think, is who would always be around her.
I don't remember. I wasn't paying enough attention at the time. We'll have to look her up. Maybe footnote her next time.
Yeah, because we'll talk after.
So gate 727 off of her sacral, that's her personality earth. So that is in a defined center. She's always trying to work through and be the grounding that would accept the sunshine for whoever is conditioning her. So Bill comes along, conditions her to be powerful. I'm going to run for office. I'm going to be important. Mom, dear, we're going to the state house. We're going to be important. That's Bill. She accepted that sunshine. And through her own grounding, you're going to love this. 27.1, selfishness. In the detriment, envy, and its attendant misfortunes. The not self of this person, simply with their open ego, wondering what their value is, always trying to prove they're worthy, sits there in envy of everything else. She cried herself to sleep after she lost that election like 1,000 nights in a row. Envy and the self-intended self-destruction that comes with it. The power of selfishness that in its that is manifested through envy, jealousy, want, desire. She's got all that desire unconsciously pouring out of her. She's got that open ego that says, I want to prove I'm worthy. I have to prove instead of realizing I got nothing to prove. Jen, I've got a totally open ego. Looks very much like this. There's no gates off of it. I used to have a terrible trip on my shoulders. I didn't know. Now I got nothing to prove. It's great.
It's free.
Yeah, you guys, you guys on this channel, you all got defined egos. You prove it. That's your job. Okay. Type thing, you know. So both
I
her,
got a defined ego.
Yep. So both her and Bill together, they didn't have a defined ego. They made each other the ruthless killers that they are, trying to prove what the hell is going on.
I just thought of a video that we could have played. Have you ever seen that video where they're doing the interview together and she says something and all of a sudden the light falls like almost on
I
her?
remember that. Yeah, that would be great. I do remember. I can't remember what the topic was, but yep. So they made each other basic ruthless killers because that's just what they did. What can you say? Bill conditioned her, and she was the backbone, giving all the support and the foundation to his fourth line, which would go out and externalize that foundation. So everything Bill said, those weren't all his words. He had an open throat. He was saying what Hiliary told him to say. Not literally. I'm saying he would wake up in the morning. If they slept in the same bed that night and he had a speech the following morning, whatever he picked up in that 24 hours prior to from her conditioning of his throat, because she's in his aura, suddenly, Shazam, Bill's spitting out what Hiliary wants.
Yeah, because she's defining it for him.
Yeah, but she's not entitled. She's not Bill. She's not contagious. She's not a shiny little natural that everyone that just projects out that it's naturally talented at driving a good direction. That's what the country wants. They want someone naturally talented at driving us in a good direction. And that's what Bill brought. He brought the appearance of that, shall I say.
They are ruthless together.
Yes. Open head and an open ego. So 7 and 2 got work to do. 7 and 2, they got work to do. They have an open head center and an open ego. There were always going to be conflicts in this relationship. Always.
Are you surprised that they've stayed married this whole time?
No.
I'm pretty sure they've stayed married because they have so many. I mean, neither one of them wants to be suicided.
Well, they stay married because of money and power and convenience. This is a marriage of convenience. Yep.
Christopher
Hillary's
said,
go ahead.
She dead? Christopher said, "Isn't she dead?" Not that we are aware of, but it could possibly be.
I don't
someone
know.
Else.
I don't think so. I think that's her ugly mug staring at me through the opaque whiteness that looks like the devil looking through a veil. Yep, that's her. So the bully whose envy needs to prove it's somebody because of a bunch of things that don't matter, holding on to ideas from the past that only serve to hurt the country, and under pressure to be in a hurry about all of that. As a guided missile manifesting generator with a whole shit ton of power right now in the appearance of leadership. That's her. And a voice that says, I know. I got all the details. I know. That's Hiliary. And on that note, you can freaking take her off the screen unless someone's got another question. She's awful.
Savannah just said, yes, stayed married because of convenience, money, and power. Yeah, I agree with that.
Period, Savannah. You're absolutely right. Is Savannah handy? She can come on if she wants.
No, she's in the comments.
All right. So, yeah, so it's sad, right? This is depressing, this piece of this show, that it's important. We need to see what drives our leaders that have no business leading us, man. I did not elect Hiliary. And I don't think we elect any of them anymore. You know, it's just sad, Jennifer. I get a little bit verklempt here with this stuff.
Well, yeah, you said it. I don't think we elect any of them anymore. I don't think that we've elected any of them. And I'll be completely honest. I will say this. I don't even think, when they said they didn't think that she would win and Trump got elected, I After everything I have seen and witnessed since my awakening over the past 5 years, I don't believe a fucking thing that I see. And I think it's a movie. I think it's staged. And I think these fuckers are taking advantage of us. And the masses just fall for it. It is the gladiator games all over.
Yeah.
It really is. It's to keep us busy. And the more that we go along this journey, you know, even the whole getting into what's going on with, you know, whoever's in the headline this week, it's just a distraction.
Right.
It really is. But I like how we do this show because it's important that we know that we are giving people that are showing their designs and they're not self-themed, you know.
So we can see what's going on.
What
Yeah.
they're capable of doing with us. And that's the thing. It is the acting and the not self-themed.
And you're right, Jennifer. You're right. If she is to run again, let's say she shows up on the political scene. Everyone who can hear this, please be aware. When she says, I know, she's saying, I know to stuff that are things that don't matter, that she's concerning herself with her own pressures that aren't yours. When she says, oh, I will get this done, she can't promise that. And she knows it. She knows that. When she says, oh, we've got to get rid of this thing was bad, whatever it is she says is bad is stuff she's been holding on to that already wasn't good for her. Has nothing to do with us.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the picture that I am seeing right now is that people are struggling. I am a firm believer that people will not move and not wake up until you hit them in the pocketbook. And unfortunately, we are headed that way. And a lot of people, that's where their fear is. It's their sense of security. The last thing we need is this psycho bitch running again and getting in there just by the hands of some other fucking psychos that put the other one that's in there.
Right.
That's the last thing we need.
No, I get what you're saying. And as it relates to, you know, coming for our money and money issues, they're here already. Very much so. Yeah.
So we don't need that. Putting her in there would be like, it's not even adding gas to the fire. Let's just set off the atomic bomb.
Right. It very much is that.
Let's not finish the election. They want us gone.
Right. Well, they're all about coming up with the plans that are going to basically murder half the planet, starve us out, disease us out, let us all die off, and wars.
Yes, everyone so far that we have done. And, you know, again, last week I had the epiphany. It does go back to the 5-year-old. You know, I pointed out to Dan, guys, today I'm noticing a theme. Every single one of these has an open head center. Yep. We talked last week on how easy that it could be possibly susceptible to hijacking and mind control. And that all starts when you're young. And we know that. We're seeing that with today's kids. You know, the programming that they're putting under. I bet you a lot of them have open head centers that are struggling with identity of who they are.
70% of the planet has an open head center, Jen. 70% has an open head center.
Well, then that explains why we have a bunch of zombies walking around.
Right. Why we're thinking about all the things except what matters. Why we have too much thoughts going in. We're trying to answer too many questions. Always trying to answer everyone else's questions, not our own. That's the quickest way to get to who you're not.
70%?
70. Plus or minus a percentage on any given year. I don't have the raw data to look at.
No, I'm just, I
70%.
Things are getting serious.
Yep, they're serious, all right.
And people won't wake up, and that's probably 70% of the population that's kind of holding us back right now.
Totally holding us back and oppressing us with stuff we don't need.
Yes.
Stuff that's not for us. It's not even for them in reality. They'd be a lot happier without it. They just don't know that. They're just not aware. When was the last time those people were in a circle of folks that had to work for a living, and when they give someone a hug, it mattered. It wasn't fake. When was the last time they had that?
Well, I mean, not even the people that we're interviewing, even regular folks, just what you said. That's not common. And people don't have the sense of community. People don't have the sense of helping each other out. It's rare. And they've designed it that way.
It's a lot less rare when you get closer to the ground. I can take any 10 people and I can find 7 of them that, or 6 or 7 of them that actually want that to be so, whether they act it out or not. And they have they'll have that generative want, meaning they're susceptible, they're ready, they'll fall in line, they'll be community oriented, they'll become tribal. These folks are beyond redemption. They could care less.
Oh,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm now, my main concern is the people.
Yeah.
Helping the people. Christopher has a question, and I'm going, if you don't mind, can I chime in on this?
Please.
Christopher, from what my understanding is, and this is something I've done extensive research on, and the reason I did extensive research on this is because I have a history of an abuser that is what I feel was tied to something similar into what they do with the children. Okay. And so for many years, I felt like that there may have been some mind control. So I dove into psychology extensively about that. And I do feel on some way, shape, or form that everybody can be susceptible to mind control. It's just, are you aware of your thoughts? We're in a spiritual battle right now. The battle is now manifesting on the physical, where we can see it in our physical eyes right before us, but it's been going on for thousands of years here. So I think everybody is susceptible to mind control. What we're saying about having the open head is I think it may be a little bit more for them to be, especially like these type of people. I don't put it past them that they were not picked from a long time ago and groomed to be put into the world stage or play a specific part. So it might have been a little bit more easier for them to do that.
Could very well have been, but the susceptibility to actual, I'm not sure what if mind control is some kind of a technique or a CIA thing as a specific, or if you're talking generally just usurping your thoughts and putting them into someone else, usurping someone else's thoughts with your own.
No.
Yes, because that is true. The open head center is very susceptible to just taking in the thoughts of the other. And suddenly they become thoughts that don't matter. You're suddenly trying to answer questions that aren't even yours. You don't even care to have to answer, and you're under pressure to think you have to answer them, and you don't. You have to follow your strategy and authority. Do I feel invited to answer this question? Does this feel good to me? Am I in the mood to answer this question? Does it fulfill my drive and where I'm headed? Do I feel supportive when I get this question? Does it feel supportive of me? These would be questions you'd ask yourself, Chris. These would be the questions that you'd go through as you follow your own strategy and authority, and you'll know whether or not the question matters after that.
I think awakening and entering the experiment yourself will help you with that.
That's the deal.
But you just gave me epiphany by saying that, because they do have a lot of, anybody can go look up MK Ultra and the programming, and most of the TVs and devices have all that, and they're constantly feeding us stuff that does not matter. Mm-hmm. Thoughts, perceptions, swaying. I had a little meltdown today when I walked into Target because I was seeing the programming, that they were putting out, especially in the kids department. So would people with open head centers be more like they would take on that idea? They possibly could take that on that idea?
As a very strong potential. That idea gets put into them, and they think they have to think about that.
Okay.
It's open. That's the thing. That's what openness is. It's open to it. Now, if they know who they are and they're following their strategy and authority, they can look at that. And, for the 1% of the population, or the 0.5% of the population for which all this gender hysteria and chit chat might actually be relevant, because following their strategy and authority, they truly aren't sure. Okay. 1/4 of 1% of the 1/10 of 1% of the entire population may actually struggle with that. That's a big number. It's millions, millions, millions of people. So I'll give them that, but to have it be all over Target and this and that, no, that's MK Ultra / government spook breakdown. Basically, as the World Economic Forum has now announced, we will push Western societies, their traditions and their values to the breaking point. We will push them to their value to the breaking point, and that's what they're doing. So the trick is, A, don't break, B, wait till the dust settles, and C, be ready to come back strong as ever. We're not going to win this first round in certain respects. They are going to trash certain aspects of what was our old life. We can't make them produce more steel. They own the money. And until people wake up and say, hey, I can produce steel and I don't have to I don't care what you say, so we're going to be short steel, for instance. We're going to be short copper. We can't do that unless the people with all the money pull their trigger right now and say, okay, dig more, get more, refine more, fire it up. Same thing with oil. You can't just fire up a refinery in an afternoon. It's a whole starting process. It's not easy. So they're going to win this first round as it relates to their money part. Let them. When the dust settles, the trick is all you have to do is still have a home, a roof over your head, and some food to eat. And then, you'll be able to fight back.
That's just the thing, Dan. People are not having that. So that's the seriousness.
Yeah. You got to get there somehow. You got to start playing. You got to think about your own resilience, guys. It's wicked important. These people are going to do what they're going to do. We can't stop the first leg of this race. Portions of the first leg of this race cannot be stopped because it's not up to us. I don't have Hillary's checkbook in my hand with a stamp that says Hillary Clinton on it. I can't sign that check. And the Clinton Foundation, I can't tell them what to do.
I don't want anything to do with that money.
No, I know, but you see what I'm saying. We can't what they choose. So they drew first blood. They're drawing first blood right now. They're taking the first swing. So we have to let them take the first swing because they're taking it. They're making their play. You're watching it unfold now.
Yeah.
So
I've moved past being. I'm over the whole people who are in power. Mine is more about the people and the people capitulating. And you just now saying 70%, that makes,
It's easy
on that one.
Well, it's easy to make them distract them with things that don't matter.
Yes, and that's the thing. It's going to have to get really ugly because we have 70% that are out there thinking about things that don't matter and who's Johnny Depp and all this other stuff, and also that we've been through this before. It's just going to pass, kind of attitude.
Right.
And it slows things down.
Well, don't forget the opposite. Not wanting to think about things that do matter. There's always a yin and a yang to these things, Jennifer. I think we concluded with Miss Hiliary, Mr. and Mrs.
Yes, I know it is Hiliary because the two of them, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another excellent episode. Thank you, Dan, for doing that, decoding.
Yeah, Jennifer. This was good.
Yes, it was. Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you have not already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the show. If you have not gotten your chart read or had a session with Dan, please click the link down below and make sure that you book your session. And let's help you start to discover who you are, and so that you can stop acting out of your not self theme. It's not an easy process. I'm still doing it too, as we all are. But as we are showing, it's time that the people take our power back. And doing that is learning about ourselves. So
it's time.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you too, Jennifer. Love you. See you on the other side.
Yes. We tune in on Sunday, guys. We will talk to you later. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.